Hello everybody, this is Terry Nance and I'll welcome you to 8 Minutes Strong with the Armor Bearer. If these videos are blessing you, hit that subscribe button and just let these come into your life and build you up, build hope in your life and strength in your life. And really, I pray that they'll bring some correction and instruction in your life because this is what it's designed to do. And then also go to godsarmorbearer.com, get the books, my material. It will help you, minister to you, and strengthen you in your walk with Jesus. You know, I've been talking this week about offense, and I've been in ministry for over 40 years. And I can tell you, in 40 years of ministry, I've had plenty of opportunities to be offended. Offended as a leader, and also offended as a staff member in the church, and has been just offended as a member of the body of Christ. The devil, his number one tool is to get us offended at each other and cause disunity. Because when disunity comes, there's strife and there's ever evil work. I've been teaching out of Matthew 18, and I'm going to go back to this because there's such an important part that we need to realize the seriousness of forgiveness. Jesus tells this story. He said there's a king and there's a landowner that owes him $20 million. That's what it would be in US dollars. $20 million owed a debt. And the king said, it's time to pay the debt. The guy came before him, fell at his feet, begged him for mercy. And the king had compassion and said, you know what? I'm going to forgive you of all that debt. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was that guy, man, it would be time for celebration. It would be time of rejoicing. It would be time of releasing anyone who had a debt against me. But Jesus goes ahead and he tells the story, and he says, now, guess what happened? This guy goes out and he finds someone who owed him about $20. And he demanded that he paid the debt. And then he demanded that his house be sold, everything to pay this debt. Now, one of the king's servants heard about it. So he goes to the king. He said, can I tell you about that guy you forgave? This is what happened. Now, the king was angry. And he pulled the man up and he said, I cannot believe that I forgave you of a $20 million debt. And you turn around and you go out and you don't forgive a $20 debt. And he said, so what I'm going to do, I'm turning you over to the tormentors until that debt is paid. That's a very powerful statement. And I know you said, wait a minute, God turns us over to the tormentors? No. But I'm going to tell you what we do as New Testament believers. We put ourselves in a position to be tormented if we're carrying an offense. That is exactly what we do. And the devil is the one who is the tormentor. Because if you maintain an offense, you are dealing out of your soul, your emotions, and if you continue to speak against that person, criticize that person, will not forgive them, then what happens? You open yourself to demonic activity. And God has no choice but to let you go down the path that you're wanting to go down. And you're given over to tormenting spirits. And I know people today that I'm telling you, they're tormented because of the sin of unforgiveness. Now let's talk about where we're at today. Let's talk about the world that we live in. And I'll have to say, in all my years of ministry, and in fact, all my life, I've never seen the hatred coming across between ethnic groups like it is today and political groups. Used to, we could sit down and at least talk to one another. Now you can't. I heard someone say, talking about the Christians and talking about Jesus, which I couldn't believe he said it, but he made the statement Jesus was a racist. And all the whole Christianity is nothing but a racist. The Bible's a racist book. And so the Bible needs to be thrown out. The Christians need to all be put in camps and be re-educated. Now that sounds insane, but you know, that's where it's going. And this is the last days, and this is the day that we're living in. So we are going to be challenged in ways that we've never been challenged before in forgiving. Now it's one thing. The world's going to be the world. And I don't think it's so hard to forgive the world because they're just being the world. But what's difficult is a Christian and a Christian leader. And then when we see the human side, or we see a mistake and we see something in them and we don't forgive, or we get wrapped up in this, well, bless God, they reviled me, so I'm going to revile them. And you get into all this stuff and you open the door to tormenting spirits. Now, Jesus tells us you're going to have to forgive everybody. You don't get an option. And we know this is the Lord's Prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And it goes on, it says, and forgive us as we forgive those who are indebted against us. Now, basically, most people don't even understand what they're praying. But what you just prayed was, God, please forgive me on the same level that I forgive someone else. That is what Jesus was saying. I cannot forgive you if you don't forgive everyone their offense. Now that's in Matthew 18. And, there's where we find out about the tormentors and that we're given over to a tormenting spirit. Jesus said that as he shared that parable. Now, look, you gotta know that we don't have an option. I want you to listen to this. 1 Peter 3, verse 8. Finally, all of you be one mind, having compassion for one another. Love as brothers, be tender-hearted, be courteous, not returning evil for evil or reveling for reveling, but on the contrary, blessing, knowing that you were called to this, that you might inherit a blessing. What is he saying? Well, blessing people is like a boomerang. You throw that blessing out, you're going to get a blessing back. But if you throw that strife out, you're going to get strife back. If you throw out evil, if you return evil with evil, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a big portion of evil, big cup of it, and you don't want to drink it. But what Jesus is saying is that we must bless. This is what Peter is saying. We have to bless. What does that mean? That word comes from when Aaron blessed the children of Israel. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. May his face shine upon you. And we have to start blessing that way. Instead of returning evil, begin to just speak a blessing out of your heart. Now, I want to say this as I close this week. You got an offense against a pastor or a leader. Go to him right now. Get it right. Get that sin out of your life. Let God forgive you and forgive them, and determine to walk free. And it's all about you being free. Forgiveness is never about the other person. It's all about me. And as you do this, God's grace and mercy is going to shine on you. You have a wonderful week this week. Have a blessed weekend. And I just pray the grace of God, and I bless you with the Father's blessing.